Talk to me about your grandkids, your great-grandkids. Like, if you had just an hour to spend with them, what would you give them in terms of setting them up the way that Mr. Washington set you up? Like, what are those core principles that you think are most impactful?
One, get to know yourself. That I believe that we're taught, be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, is because...
What does that mean? Like, that sounds slick as hell, but I don't actually understand.
I know it. What it means is that don't live the life that has been given you.
By the culture, by your parents.
By their circumstances, by the people that's around you. That Sidney Poitier wrote a book called The Measure of a Man. And he said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. He said, either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? And so there are things that we pick up and we think that they're our choices, but they're the choices that we've been programmed by life to do. When we leave our homes in the morning, we're bombarded with over 6,000 advertising hits through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram, through television, through our phones and through our communities, and through the computers. And so all of these things are impacting us every day. So if you don't have a program for your mind, then your mind is going to be programmed and you'll find yourself doing things that you did not know and that they affected you, that they, through marketing techniques and strategies, that they will create a thirst within you. I came up in an era that said if you built the best mousetrap, the world will be the path to your door. But if you know marketing, people will sleep outside your store to buy a telephone they've never touched or seen. But because of the marketing, they said, I got to have that. And when they get it, it's a smartphone, but they're a dummy because they don't know how to work it. And that is me. I got a smartphone, but all I can do is do text messages on it.
Hey, that's already pretty good. All right, so we've got our grandkids in a room. We tell them, don't be programmed by the culture. You got to figure out who you are.
You got to get to know yourself. You want to spend time reading. Reading is very important.
Give me some powerful books.
One of the books I enjoy is by my mentor, Mike Williams. He saw this Les Brown before I saw him. I was a disc jockey at WVKO radio station in Columbus, Ohio. And he said, hey, Brownie. I said, yes. He said, you know why you go see Robert Schuller and Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar? I said, because I like their message. He says, no. He said, that's who you are, man. You can do that. And he said, you know why Bert Charles gives you so much hell here? I said, well, he just doesn't like me? No, because you've outgrown this place. There's something else for you to do. You can do what those guys do. But at that time, I was suffering from possibility blindness. I couldn't see it. I had the conversation in my head of being labeled educable mentally retarded and failing twice in school. But over the years, experiences continue to peel away, and you wax the floor. You don't put wax on the existing floor. You strip it first. And so over the years, the seminars, the workshops, the examples, the things that I observed, like people like yourself, begin to peel away and penetrate and connect with that part of myself that says, I can do this, I can do more, and I deserve more. And so I would teach my kids that you have to transform your mindset. You have to continuously upgrade your relationships. My youngest son, John Leslie, poses a question. He said, when you have goals and dreams you want to achieve, he said, ask yourself the question, who should I count on and who should I count out? And so many people never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. And you have to have goals outside of your comfort zone that will challenge you, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. And you got to have a mentor who's experienced, who's been there, done that. And as a result of that relationship, because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. Muhammad Ali said, I'm the greatest, but he never won a championship without Angelo Dundee. And Michael Jordan never won a championship without Phil Jackson. So you've got to have someone that can see something in you that you can't see, that can take you to a place within yourself that you can't go by yourself. So I would teach them the value of having a life coach, that life is an adventure and it's going to be a challenge, and get ready because you're going to fail your way to success. You're going to get slapped around by life. And don't spend time complaining about it and telling everybody 80% don't care and 20% glad it's you.
Too true. I want to close the loop on the books really fast. So give me 2 or 3 books that you think everybody should read.
The Road to Your Best Stuff by Mike Williams. I wrote the foreword to that. Live Your Dreams by V. It's a very good one. Another one that's a little known book that people don't talk about. It's by Robert Collier called Secret of the Ages. That's a book that really inspired me, that Mr. Washington gave me, Secret of the Ages. Another book that I love. What is
The Secret of the Ages?
The Secret of the Ages, that you have the power to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Don't underestimate yourself. You don't know enough about yourself to become a cynic. And so you've got to challenge yourself to access that power that you have within you. You're more than a conqueror. And the other one is a little small book that I don't care how many times I read it, I always get something of value. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. And they have a female version of it, As a Woman Thinketh. Those are books that I enjoy very much.
What is it about As a Man Thinketh? I tried reading it, and to be honest, I couldn't get into it. But I've heard a lot of people that I respect a lot say that book really has something. What am I missing?
You know, he died in prison. And in spite of all of the things that he went through, because he was a guy that was ahead of his time, his experience in the area where he was, and being in prison because of his philosophy of life, didn't make him bitter. You know, we've all heard the saying, things in life will make you bitter or they'll make you better. And he became better. He did even more profound work while he was incarcerated before he ultimately died. And so his focus on the value of not only just changing your mind, but having a program to do maintenance work on your mind, because those negative thoughts will come back with a vengeance. Once you stop the ritual of whatever you are doing, that will hold those negative thoughts in check. Negative thoughts are like weeds. You can't kill weeds. You can hold them down for a minute, but once you stop doing the things to overpower those negative thoughts, because we've been taught to dislike ourselves, that if I said to you, Tom, you can't do this show, you just don't have what it takes. You have a face that only a mother could love, Tom. You can't do this. Then MIT did this study, and somebody else has to come along and say, Tom, don't pay any attention. You can do it, Tom. You can do this. Don't listen to him. You can do this. Listen to me, Linda. You can do this. 17 times to neutralize that one time. And so when we think about him and his work, and he did a lot of profound work, it's focused on how to begin to get under those conscious thoughts and impact that subconscious mind to create an ongoing process of renewing how we see ourselves.
Yeah, I want to talk about that process. I think that's really powerful. It's a great analogy that the negative voice is like weeds. They're going to keep coming back, and the moment that you stop tending the garden, you're going to be in trouble again. What does your process of tending the garden look like? What do you do on a daily basis to keep it clean?
Well, we've developed a program called 4 Steps to Greatness, and it's a cyclic process. One, self-awareness, where you constantly, every day when I get up, I read. I get up and there's a scripture I love, because all things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to His purpose. And so I meditate on that, and I visualize myself doing some good stuff in the planet. The next step is not only self-awareness, but the next thing is self-approval, that you have to have a program that will increase your sense of self, reading, doing good work, volunteering, constantly looking for ways in which you can improve all the dimensions of your life, being a better father, being a better husband, a wife, or being a better person, because we want to have a holistic approach to life. Because if your achievements outgrow your sense of self, you will unconsciously engage in self-destructive behavior. And we're witnessing that now on a national level.
Yeah, you're touching on the thing that I find maybe most distressing in life.
I'm back. I'm starting the Les Brown Leadership Entrepreneurial Institute, teaching our young people how to go into business for themselves, teaching them how to become entrepreneurs, giving them a larger vision of themselves, letting them know that you don't live life as it is, you live life as you are. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Transforming their mindset, teaching them the skill set that's required in this new economy of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. Letting them know that this is a time where you have to learn, you have to unlearn, learn, and relearn. Unlearn the way that you've been operating and thinking and behaving. And you must relearn, because things are constantly changing. And so my vision has been, and I did it in Washington, D.C. and in Chicago, training kids and their parents and relatives together. I'm going to do it. I'm getting ready for 2023. And I want, if you believe as I believe, what you're about to see is something that has value. I want to see some fire. You know, as I was watching that, they used a law that they used to investigate the mafia, to investigate me. And they said I had sloppy bookkeeping because the city gave me $100,000 to train youth, and I spent $125,000. I spent $25,000 of my own money. And they asked, where'd you get it from? None of your business, it's my money. And I chose not to turn any kids away. And I used my own money. I put my money where my mouth was. But they used the mafia law. Now, is there anything harmful that you saw in that video that would require that they use a mafia law? And the mafia law is a law that's, I think it's called the MICO. I'm not sure what it is, but it's someone knows out there. But what it says is that they asked, that Mamie they asked Janet Reno, what has he done wrong? And she said, oh, nothing, but we're just investigating him to see if he's done anything wrong. Wow. Wow. What was wrong in their view? When you're empowering our youth, as long as they're using filthy language and shaking their behinds and acting ignorant, it's okay. That's not any threat to society. But when they have goals and dreams and visions of themselves in the future, and when they're articulate and can express themselves, now that's a threat. Now the person, whoever's doing that, that's a threat. We need to investigate him. And that's what they did to me. And I thanked them for it. Because had they not done that, I would not have left Miami and became the person who I am now. They meant it for evil. God meant it for good. Look at it. Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he will? So I'm coming back. I'm back. I'm so glad I was born and preserved for such a time as this. Our children need a lot of help. If you agree with me, I want to see some flames. If you agree, if you see the booty shaking on these various platforms and just listen to the language of their indecent, filthy language has now become the new normal. But they just can't say 2 or 3 words without cussing. Woo! I mean, it's in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. If you believe as I believe, that we need to create a movement to capture our kids' minds from these tablets, from the images that they see of themselves throughout all the platforms in the internet. There are algorithms that's been created in China. They teach and train their kids to become entrepreneurs, how to think, become critical thinkers, how to build businesses, how to invest in themselves and prepare them for the future. And the algorithms through those same platforms in the United States, totally opposite, corrupt their thinking, negative images, a blurred vision, no sense of purpose and direction. However, there's no algorithm between you and I. If you believe as I believe, and I want to see some flames, what you just saw has some value and can make a difference in our kids' lives. Many of those kids now see them and they said, "You changed my life." To God be the glory. Do I have any flames coming up, Calvin? No, I'm talking about on your phone. You're not even looking. Excuse me. He's not even paying any attention to where I am. I got to get somebody with me that can help me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I've got to get somebody that's going to be focused on my stuff. All right. He's focusing on his stuff, and he should. He should. I don't need that now. I ask you a question. You were someplace else. Your mind someplace else, and you should be taking care of your business. If you believe as I believe, if you believe that we need to be on point and mean business and developing our children and helping them to reinvent themselves and get a larger vision of themselves beyond the current culture that is designed to deny them, to demonize them, to destroy them, and to help them begin to get a vision of them living a different kind of life. If you believe that, I want to see some thumbs up or some flames up in here. November the 11th through the 13th, I'm going to be teaching and sharing with people some of the things that we use in the Les Brown Leadership and Entrepreneurial Institute, sponsored by the Greatness Center. We will not have any government funding. And those of you that believe in what I'm doing, I'm open to your helping us. I want parents to come with their children, to be involved. We have to change a whole household, the parents and the kids. And I've had parents in training and they loved it.
So since we're there, right before we came on today, I was talking to him. You want to tell them the story about the 99-cent store, the dollar store, the Walmarts, the Neiman Marcus? Yeah.
First of all, he's still in diapers. I'm 72. Yeah, all right. I served at the Lord's Supper. So let's get that straight. I'm an old guy.
When he was 15, I was being born.
All right. Yes. And I believe that you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach. And that's why I admire you. And that's why I have no qualms about asking you to mentor me in this next chapter of my life, because I'm not through yet and there's much more for me to do. And I was talking to you about your model, going from competing, his business model, competing with dollar store all the way up to thousands of dollars. And that is so brilliant. One of the things, when I read the book, Alvin Toffler, Future Shock, and he talked about the fact that when we go from a domestic economy to a global economy, an education economy, the things are going to change, and it will be a time where people have to think and have to be creative and find ways to do what they do in a far more effective way, do more and do it faster and with less resources and manpower. You have mastered that, and you're teaching others how to do it. We learn, we earn, and we pass it on. And that's what I admire about you, that you're passing it on. It's not just about you, but you're building a legacy and empowering people
who will go into a future that neither one of us will see, that will take it to the next level. And that's exciting.
How many speaking gigs have you done around the world? Any idea how many stages you've been on, Les? The legend, Les Brown, is in the studio. I'm so excited.
I've spoken to as many as 80,000 people. If people go online and put in Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome,
yeah.
And the speech is called "It's Not Over Till You Win." Dexter Yeager from Amway, he put that event together. The largest gathering of entrepreneurs. That was the largest audience of over 80,000. Last year I spoke in Poland to over 25,000. That was a very powerful gathering. But I've spoken in so many places.
How many times? I know you've been in Miami 4 times in your entire career.
In my entire career.
Only 4 times, by the way.
Only 4 times. Yeah, and I was born in
grew
Liberty
up
City.
Here, right?
Born in Liberty City, an abandoned building with a twin brother. We're adopted.
I'm a twin.
No, you're not.
Identical twin, man.
Whoa, we're fraternal twins.
Okay.
And so, he looks like my son because I use mascara to cover my gray. There's no shame. I put it on stage, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, but so Wesley and I, we were adopted by Mrs. Mamie Brown. She had a 3rd grade education. She worked on Miami Beach for wealthy families. And my dream, as we were coming up, was to buy her a home. That's what drove me. And one of the families that she worked for, Mrs. Swiderski, used to listen to Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret in the World, and Bill Bailey and Glenn Turner. And that was early stages of cultivating my mind and my thoughts. The Strangest Secret in the World.
Okay.
That was the first motivational message that I heard that sold over 1 million. He was an insurance executive, and he created these motivational messages for his insurance agents to listen to. And their performance began to increase. He had just an incredible voice, and I loved his voice and his content. And then I ran into Jim Rohn, and he worked for a guy named Bill Bailey, had a company called Best Line Products. And I heard Jim speak. I was fascinated by him and Bill Bailey from Louisville, Kentucky. And those speakers spoke into my life. I always tell speakers, I train them now, and I say that when we speak, we create, as you know, an experience, because how people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. And so when you speak, what you do is distract, dispute, and inspire. You distract them from their story with your story. Through the strategic execution of your story and the things that you have learned and the failures and the setbacks and the victories, you dismantle their current belief system and inspire them to become, as Mother Teresa would say, to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in their lives. Distract, dispute, and inspire. We create an experience. And I believe that the reason that many speakers aren't able to do what we do is they feel that information is important. And I can tell you unequivocally if information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy.
Yeah, that's right. You hear what he's saying, okay?
Yeah.
He's talking about the dismantling of the old story that you're telling the world, okay?
Yes.
And some people have the ability, the magical, miraculous ability to do that. This man right here has it.
You have it too.
Thank you.
I've been watching you. I said, you can't sneak up on the old man. I said, look at him. You think you're going to ambush me? No way, Jose.
Me and Les Brown are going to be working together.
Yes.
March 17th, 18th, and 19th, right here in Miami. He's only spoken here 4 times in the world. You've probably been to Europe more than 4 times.
Oh my goodness, yes. I've spoken in Poland, in Johannesburg, South Africa, in Australia, in London, England, and Hong Kong. I've spoken all over the world.
And you know, Les, I mean, you're 72. I'm 58 years old. You have 10 kids.
Yes, 5 boys and 5 girls.
He's trying to tell me to
You've
get
got
busy.
to pick up the pace. Yes,
Okay.
there's a little. So he said, "Be fruitful and multiply." I took him seriously.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Man. He's 10x. This dude is.
That's
10X.
what I'm talking about. Can you feel a brother up in here? Yes,
I can. And so, I mean, look, you and I'm sure you do, and I'm transparent, so I talk about this. I know I'm at the, closer to the end of my career than the beginning of it.
I don't think so.
No?
No, because part of delivering this message, when you're in alignment with your purpose, I believe that gives you more time on the universe. Let's look at me. I'm 72, but I don't look it. I don't have a 72-year-old energy. And there's a difference between that physiological age and that spiritual age. And I think when you're in alignment and doing what you're supposed to do that pleasures God, it keeps you young. You have the energy of a 20-year-old. So that allows you to be
But I mean, there's going to
channel.
be a time when you and I are not live in these bodies on a stage.
Without any question.
Okay.
And I'm not looking forward to that.
Les Brown, stay with me. We'll
Yes.
be right back for Power Players. Welcome back to Power Players. Grant Cardone here with the legendary Les Brown. We were talking on break. He promised a breakthrough in March.
Without
How
any
can you
question.
do that?
Because of the fact that what we do, we have the ability, and we've developed it over a period of time, and I don't know exactly when it happens, where you can speak to a crowd of people, and you're speaking to them as a group, but also individually, that they come away as a result of your speaking into them. And as we weave a story with our experiences because of who we are behind the words that we speak, because of what we've gone through. A person hasn't gone through anything, it's hard for them to reach somebody's heart because they've never been there. Sometimes God has to break a life before he can use a life. And so you and I, two
Church,
individuals,
baby,
come on
church.
now. Yeah, we've been broken.
Yeah.
And so he put us back together. And as a result of that we can be used, but we couldn't be used before. And so to me, to be able to be a channel to help people discover a part of themselves that they could never discover by themselves, that's what you do, that's what we do. And that's why people listen to us and come to us.
So why do people, so many people want to be public speakers, but are also fearful of it? And how can you help that person?
Oh, that when the training that I do, that they speak immediately. That's the quickest thing to go. They speak immediately. You have to set them up so they don't have time to think. And so in the training, they speak immediately and they love it because I believe that we're supposed to be doing this. I had a lady flew from Australia recently and to be trained by me, and she emailed me and said, cost is not an issue. And so I asked her the second day, and I only train with people that I feel a close connection with one-on-one. And I said, why did you want to come to me? She said, I saw American television, and it talked about this young white boy that went into a black church and killed 9 people. And she said, I said to myself, what if I had gotten in his ear? She says, nothing enters except through the eyes or the ears. And she said, and this gave me goose pimples, she said, you speak from your heart. And I want to learn how to do that because I believe the world is the way that it is, not because a few people are violent. She said, the world is the way that it is because too many people are silent.
Yes.
And I said, whoa. And I decided
That's awesome.
that my goal is to help people outside of politics and outside of religion, which polarize people.
Have a voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Politicians say, do as I tell you to do and I'll give you a piece of American pie. Ministers say, do as I tell you to do and I can teach you how to live after you die. And our goal is teaching people how to live right here, right now, because the difference ultimately between what we do and what ministers do, they preach the gospel about Jesus, we preach the gospel that Jesus preached. They sell the messenger and we sell the message. And so as a result, we can empower people to take charge of their lives and begin to create a new story, to write new chapters with their lives.
So like Les talked about the lady from Australia that says it's not because of the violence, but because of the silence.
Yeah.
I think most businesses fail. Most brands never make it. Most people never reach their greatness because they don't know how to tell their story.
Yes, that's major.
What will you be sharing with the audience? Because look, man,
Let me just share with you why the story is
Success.
important. Yes. Why the story is important is because when you speak, if you're selling, you're an entrepreneur, you got a product, you have an expertise, knowledge is a new currency. People are asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And so if you don't answer that, because we know people do business with
what, why?
Who are you?
Yeah.
What do you have? And why should I care? People do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when you can answer that, now you're building a rapport and a connection that creates a possibility where you can do business together and help each other go to that next level.
Guys spoken all over the world. Emmy Award winner for fundraising for public broadcasting.
Yes.
Fortune CEO, Fortune 500 CEOs all over the world, small business owners, nonprofit, community leaders. You're an inspiration to me because you sit out in front of me and give me like what is possible. Right?
Yes.
So you've really been an inspiration to me. And,
Thank you so
I know
much.
millions and millions of others. I look
And
forward
you've
to
done the same for me, and you play it down. You're so humble.
No.
Come
I'm not
on.
humble.
Yeah,
I'm not a humble man.
You just
I am
humble
not-
bread. You just humble bread.
No, I'm
but
not
I ain't
a-
going for it.
Dude, I am not a humble man. He's going to speak on Saturday, right?
Saturday, yes.
Saturday.
And you know, this is
But you got to
for
come
me.
in the night before, man.
I will come in the night before because I live here now.
Okay. Good. So we're going to
Yes.
have a yacht party.
Yes.
Can
I
you
look forward to
swim?
it. Yes, you can't be in Miami and not swim.
Dude, I've met so many people here that can't swim. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like, what are you doing on planet Earth that's 2/3
Yeah,
water and you can't
They
swim?
won't be around too long. Yes.
Les Brown, folks, a legend, okay? If you don't have his book, Laws of Success, okay, go get that book today on Amazon.
Yes.
You can get it anywhere, right?
You can get it on Amazon primarily. But the other thing I'm interested in people checking us out at the Les Brown Institute because I think it's my mission to train these new voices of hope. When there's hope in the future, it gives you power in the present. We live in the greatest country in the world. There's something wrong when people try and outswim sharks to get here or outrun a Jeep barefooted to get here.
To come to the country.
And the suicide rate in America is higher than the number of people that were killed last year in car accidents. Something is wrong with that. They lost
Crazy,
hope.
man.
And we are voices of hope. When there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. And that's what my goal and mission I feel that God has with me, the Les Brown Institute, is to train people how to tell their story and to transform the lives of other individuals. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, he's going to stick to that because that's what he's been doing for 40 years, okay? And he's going to stick to you. If you're committed to your health, to your well-being, to your wealth, to your future, your family, the love, whatever you believe in, we want to help you March 17th, 18th, and 19th in Miami. Now, look, if you can't get here, I'm going to stream it to them.
Yes.
We got people, a guy called me the other day and said, hey, look, I got 10 people, I bought 10 tickets. I can't get down there because of this.
Yes.
We're going to stream it to those people, okay? I know you got a bunch of your folks coming.
Without any question, and all my children will be there too.
Okay.
So that's going to have the place half full.
And you're going to be there to have fun, okay? I'm telling you, this is going to be the best.
Yeah.
He talked about that Georgia conference.
Yeah, Georgia Dome. I was speaking to 80,000 people. Call It's Not Over Till You Win. They can see it on YouTube.
Now, what if there was only 2,000 people in the room
It
rather
doesn't
than
matter.
80,000?
It doesn't matter.
But don't you think those
Trust
2,000
me,
would get more?
they will get more out of it because I'm going to get the butter from the duck. Trust me on that.
The butter from the duck.
Yes.
You want to talk about the pepper in the fork?
Yes, I've been eating hot pepper on the fork right before this event because I'm going to be fired up and hungry.
I guarantee he will do the single best presentation of his entire career because the bar has been raised, folks. Look at
Yes,
the
it has
people
been.
here, okay? Jay Abrahams. You know Jay?
Absolutely.
What'd you say about Jay?
Jay is very knowledgeable, and he's
Big
going to do
words.
very yes. He's big words.
You got
But
it.
there's some people. There's a market there.
There,
Because
Kevin
in
Harrington.
every
You know Kevin
audience,
from
the
Shark
audience
Tank?
is inside of the audience. Yes, I know. Kevin.
Infomercial genius.
Yes,
okay?
he's good.
Almost $1 billion on infomercials.
Yeah.
You know Tim's story that
Yes.
worked with Oprah?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tim is good.
Tim
And-
Grover worked with Kobe and Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Michael Jordan, the basketball player.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you play basketball?
Yes, and I got a good hook.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Ask
Now, I think he's exaggerating.
Ask Michael
now.
about me. We were born on the same date. He and Jim Brown,
Are you
February
kidding, man?
17th. Absolutely.
I don't know, man. I think we're beyond public speaking now. Do you know this dude, Andy Frisella?
Yes, but not
Okay,
personally.
$100 million
yes.
earner.
Yeah, he's
$100
a
million
bad boy.
a year.
Yeah, that's
okay?
somebody I
Jamie
want to know
Shanks,
more.
Roddy Chong, I'm bringing in a violinist.
You know,
You don't know this dude. He's a little Asian
Yes,
dude.
he's
Makes about $3 million
he's
a year.
very expressive.
You
when
know
he
this
plays.
dude? You do know
Yes.
him. Bobby Castro. You don't know Bobby.
No, I don't know
He's
Bobby.
a white dude, man.
Yes.
Right here in Miami.
Right here in Miami.
$600 million valuation.
What does
on
he
his
do?
company. Actually, Bankers Healthcare. I think you spoke
Yes,
to
I
this
spoke
group
with
once. Okay. Jack and Telly,
No.
$1.5 billion business.
Man, what a powerful lineup you have.
Per
you know
year-
what?
per year.
Per year.
Every year he bangs out $1 billion. There's
You
a
know
$1 billion list, but look, it wasn't gonna be complete
Yes.
without my man, Mr. 10X, the original 10X, because he had 10 kids. Okay. Les, buddy, I love you, man.
I love
knew
you,
it
and I
the first time I
appreciate you.
talked to you, man. I knew it the
Yes.
first time I read
Yeah.
one of your books. Folks, go get the book today, Law of Success.